Usually when a long-running story ends, it's like burying a time capsule.
Right, you just seal the lid and let a decade of nostalgia gather dust.
Yeah, you don't expect it to still be breathing. But looking at Bleach, I mean, that time capsule isn't just breathing. It's radiating this terrifying, world-ending spiritual pressure.
That was completely unprecedented.
Right. And with the finale, the Calamity, dropping on July 25, 2026, we are really looking at something totally new in anime history. Okay, let's unpack this, because this decade-long journey has hit a fever pitch. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
So glad to be here. And, Studio Pierrot isn't letting anyone ease back into this world either. They've baked that overwhelming dread right into the newly released main visual.
Oh, the clash between Ichigo Kurosaki and Watch?
Yeah, the almighty. You look at that clash, and it immediately sets a suffocating tone before the first frame of animation even moves.
Well, the color palette alone does a lot of that heavy lifting, honestly. You have these deep, bruised purples and, ominous blacks. And they physically look like they're trying to extinguish the vibrant, flickering orange of Ichigo's spirit.
It's so oppressive.
Yeah. It feels less like a promotional poster and more like a literal declaration of war. I mean, if that's the visual standard, it sets an insanely high bar for an animation run that's already supposed to push television boundaries.
Well, what's fascinating here is how that visual dread translates seamlessly into the auditory landscape.
Right, the music.
Bleach has always leaned on a highly stylized musical identity, but for the Calamity, the production is, they're weaponizing the sound against the viewer.
Wait, when you say weaponizing the sound, you mean they're stripping away that familiar nostalgic comfort?
Yeah.
And replacing it with something designed to make us actively uncomfortable?
Exactly. By violently slamming delicate traditional Japanese strings into aggressive electronic rock for the new opening theme, they create this severe auditory dissonance.
Wow, so it forces you to feel the same chaotic, suffocating pressure that Ichigo is experiencing on screen.
Yes. It directly mirrors that bruised purple fighting the flickering orange. And then, the ending theme does the exact opposite.
A sonic decompression chamber.
You nailed it. It's a highly reflective, melodic piece designed as a psychological counterweight, to guide you through the emotional fallout of whatever devastation you just watched.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. So, what does this all mean? I mean, an incredible soundtrack and boundary-pushing animation are great, but the original manga ended a decade ago, and it was notoriously rushed.
Right, it was.
We're talking untied plot threads, highly anticipated battles happening entirely off-screen, our fans just getting a shiny 2026 coat of paint slapped onto a flawed, cracked foundation. Why should you invest in all this high-end production if the story's core is already compromised?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the foundation itself is actually being repaired. Manga mastermind Tai Kubo isn't just, sitting back and cashing a royalty check.
He's heavily involved, right?
Very involved. He is actively inserting anime original scenes and expanding the lore specifically to fix those untied threads and off-screen battles you mentioned.
Okay, so rather than a rigid one-to-one adaptation of an old, hurried script, he's using the anime to bridge the narrative gaps he couldn't fill 10 years ago due to, health and time constraints.
That's exactly it. This is him delivering the definitive masterpiece version of the story that fans have craved for a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. Whether you've been following Ichigo since the early 2000s or you're a newcomer who just binged the revival, you are witnessing a totally unique redemption of a legacy property.
Yeah, for anyone who felt a little hollow reading that final chapter back in 2016, this is essentially the fully animated director's cut you never thought you'd get.
Oh, absolutely.
So, mark your calendars for July 25th, grab your black robes, and prepare for one final, glorious Getsuga Tensho.
It really is going to be a monumental day for the medium.
Which leaves you with a really provocative question to think about long after the credits roll. When a creator gets this rare, unprecedented second chance to rewrite and expand their rushed ending a whole decade later, does the anime adaptation actually become the true canon over the original manga?